What's up, chat? What's going on? Hope you're all having a good eve. So this was just sent to me, and I love getting these videos, so I figured we would do another reaction, have some fun with it, and then we can play some Zelda, because the expansion came out tonight, so I'm pretty excited about that. But before we do, let's have some fun, and a new video has come out regarding me being a bully, and as you know, we're gonna get down to it. I feel like before these, when these came out like a long time ago, like I was more excited. I just feel like now it's just like another day at the office. But this one's 15 minutes long. That's never happened, I don't think. I don't think anyone's ever spent 15 minutes on me, but big shout out to the SEA. Go subscribe to them if you like them, if you like their stuff. I never knew they existed until now. So let's go ahead and watch this video. Starring me. All right. Should we go theater mode or should we just go regular? I should start it.
Star Wars Theory is a bully. In case you don't know who Star Wars Theory is, allow me to explain.
Oh, my bench video's up. Can you see? My bench video. I put it up last night. You guys can watch my bench last night. It was pretty good. My back cramped up a little bit when I got to 185 at the end there. But I did a few sets with 265 for a couple doubles. I did 3 sets of doubles. Yeah, it was okay. Whatever. All right, let's continue.
Star Wars Theory is the #1 most subscribed to YouTube channel in the Star Wars fandom. He started out his YouTube career making videos and little tidbits of lore, but eventually after growing his channel to astronomical highs, he made his own Darth Vader fan film. Remember this for later. We'll come back to this. After making his fan film, he had to focus on Star Wars lore videos, but he also likes to make videos that are discussion-type videos, where he trashes on Kathleen Kennedy for doing her job, since that's where the money is, baby! His channel would evolve into a YouTube mass enterprise, covering everything.
Should I start answering like in between, or are we just gonna watch it through? Yeah, okay.
Everything from Marvel to Cobra Kai. I would even argue that it's developed to a point where I see him making similar content to Mike Zero. He has merch, is
One can only hope.
planning a sequel to his Vader fan film, and he does frequent live streams. Now, this takes us to the reason I made this video. A live stream he made earlier this year, where he invited a guest speaker from the channel All New Nerds, link in the description, where the guest Levi had some very reasonable criticisms for Star Wars Theory's behavior over the years.
Of his times, from Star Wars, and when we communicate with each other, some of these things, I think, I think we can get along as a fandom, and it's just up to us. I think Star Wars is all about a choice to be better. That Luke Skywalker quote to Del Meeko, Battlefront 2, a choice to be better, and that's what it's all about. And I think we all should be more Qui-Gon and less Anakin.
Levi states that Theory could be a bit more positive. Does that warrant this reaction?
I don't like the movie. I am free to say what I like to say.
Oh,
I
shit.
don't feel I have to.
What happened to my testosterone?
Belief or political system. I'm not American. I don't give a shit about American politics. I'm Canadian. I don't have to believe in this sort of office rule that I've never heard about before because I don't care. I'm a Star Wars fan. If I don't like a movie, I'm going to tell my fans straight up I don't like it.
I'm also going to be starring in the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, if anyone's wondering.
The fact and the difference between I think this movie is shit versus this movie is shit as fact or not fact. Fact is irrelevant. Fact is something that is a bias. To you and me, your facts are different than my facts.
Seems like a bit much, right? Seems like he's going a bit crazy over a guy with some reasonable criticism, right? And before any of you barnacle heads type in the comments saying, well, he should have said that in private and not on the stream, let me explain this for you. Would you
Because that's what people sound like when you don't agree with them.
give a celebrity advice, give it the chance? When else would Levi give these tips? Just in casual conversation? Do you think Theory would just chat in a private message with random YouTubers? Well,
Yes. That's why I invited them on my channel, to support them. That's why I'm doing this video, to support smaller creators. Because even though you're making a 15-minute video about me, most likely negative, at least 2 minutes in, I still support small creators, and I want them to have the life I have, making content and doing what they love.
what makes this even worse is the following day, where Theory goes on a video call with Levi to discuss the previous day and gaslights Levi into apologizing.
And then you threw that little bit in there about me, and I was like,
I didn't gaslight anybody into apologizing. He was getting death threats. The only reason I did that video with him because he was getting death threats and because I wanted that to stop. So.
and I watched it back, and I was like, what? I was blindsided. I was like, where's this coming from? So for me, it was just kind of confusing. It was just the wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time is an understatement. Yeah.
I miss my old setup with the arcade. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
As if that wasn't bad enough, according to Levi himself from a Discord call I had with him, Theory didn't even tell him that it used to be streamed live for his entire fan base.
I did have it in writing. Sawyer was there. She was the other person that facilitated me and him coming into a conversation. And I told him I'm going to go live. So, don't know why the fuck you would say that.
Honestly, this is a very disgusting violation of his privacy.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, moving on. Now that we've discussed why I'm making this video, let's discuss some other examples of his
You haven't discussed why you're making this video.
negative influence on the fandom, shall we? Remember when I talked about his Vader fan film? So, before the release of the film, he had a specific demand from Lucasfilm to not make a single penny off it. Otherwise, he could understandably get in legal trouble for copyright infringement. That's fair enough since his...
Which now, funny enough, every other fan film is like having a Kickstarter and GoFundMe and monetizing and...
not his property. And thankfully, he seemed okay with obliging with his request. So he made the film,
Thankfully. This guy must work for like Disney or something.
and it was...
Cheese, 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 butter.
Wait,
Spread
what?
it on.
Is he saying... Wait, what? What are you saying?
copyright infringement. That's fair enough since it's not his property. And thankfully, he seemed okay with obliging with his request. So he made the film, and it was...
Cheese, cheese,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry you didn't like it.
cheese, 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 butter. Spread it on the bread. Bollocks.
But hey, at the very least, his creative vision was fulfilled, and everything ended up just fine afterwards, right? No. Why would you expect anything normal from this goober anyways? Nah, instead he gets a claim from Warner Chappell Records, which is his own company separate from Disney, and he claimed that Disney struck down his video. He then goes on to make a video claiming that Lucasfilm lifted the claim on his video. Do I have to be the one to break the decade-old news that Lucasfilm is Disney, and that Warner Chappell is a completely separate company?
Lucasfilm isn't Disney at all. Disney bought Lucasfilm. I don't know if you know that. And they're actually quite different. They're quite separate. So... And also in the video I said Warner Chappell and Disney.
Company that competes against Disney?
And my head, I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain.
You see, the funniest part of all this for me is they make the claim that somebody at Disney manually made the claim, which is simply not true.
But then someone goes in there and manually claims. This is not just something done by YouTube. Oh, it sounded like something Star Wars, so we're gonna claim.
YouTube has millions of hours of content uploaded daily. Do you really think any at Disney would?
Yes. So when a claim happens, there's many different ways that it can happen. It either gets content ID, which means that the robot picks it up, like music or anything visual. And the other one where it says a manual claim, you can actually see it in the video. Someone has manually claimed. It's when they go in and they manually claim. It's quite self-explanatory in the phrase. Also, my network, and funny to think that I would have a network, actually helped me out with that. And they were doing their due diligence to try and figure out, you know, what was going on. And it was indeed a manual claim. So I don't...
Would or even could manually do this? He says this in a video that's not about the money, but the fact that he has this monetized video shows the whole reason he's reporting on the drama shows that yes, it is about the money.
No. So when I make a fan film and I say that I can't monetize it, and I tell my fans, my millions of fans, the rules, I think at that time I had 1.2 million, the rules of making this fan film that I paid money for, and and I tell them that there won't be any ads on it, when I wake up and there are ads on my fan film, and fans are starting to say, why the fuck are there ads on this fan film? Like, why'd you do this? Blah blah blah. I'm not just gonna shut my mouth and protect Warner Chappell and Disney? Like, no, this was supposed to be for the fans. I could have just made fan fictions until the cows come home and keep making money and not give the community anything. Just like every other Star Wars YouTuber, just make videos and do my thing and rake it in. But I wanted to create something that was cool, and I wanted to do it for the fans, even though the rules were set before me that I couldn't monetize anything. So, all right.
Why would he make this video otherwise? This doesn't concern his fans. This is a private matter for him to deal with on his own. He then makes multiple more videos on the subject, each of which
I made 2 videos on the subject. One once it got on the front page of Reddit to thank you guys, and then the other one when the claim got released.
Getting millions of views. I gotta say, I respect the grind. The guy is making good money of scamming his audience of kids who don't know any better and thus becoming a horrible influence.
I see this comment a lot, and it's like, if I'm the biggest Star Wars YouTuber on the planet, and I'm not flexing, that's just fact, okay? Then that must really mean that many people are dumb enough to be scammed. Like, then you're literally calling the majority of people who subscribe to me, or all the people that subscribe to me, which is more than any other channel, or any other article, any other Star Wars webpage or anything, an idiot. So, I don't know, like, people aren't that stupid. I mean, if you're smart enough to figure it out that I'm scamming people, then everybody else is too. And they wouldn't click subscribe, and I wouldn't have a career, and I wouldn't be able to make videos because the demand wouldn't be there. Nobody would watch. It's really that fucking simple.
Speaking of scamming kids, do you guys know something else that's pretty scummy? Well, you can pay Theory $500 on Patreon to learn how to grow your channel. Literally something you can get for free on YouTube. But I don't.
Yeah, because people will sit there who have built...
digress.
Jesus.
This leads us to our next point, the Pablo Hidalgo drama. I'm sure you all know about this if you're watching this video, but let me give a brief rundown for those who need to be brought up to speed with this. So in the finale of Mandalorian Season 2, Luke Skywalker shows up. And one theory was streaming his reaction to the finale, he ended up tearing up. While I may not like the ending of Mando Season 2, I don't try and take that joy away from anybody else, or make fun of them for
wow, this guy didn't like the ending?
It means a lot to people in different ways, so I respect his reaction to the finale.
No surprise.
Well, not really.
Dead! He's dead! The big Jesus is dead!
You must understand, this was an accident, a terrible accident.
He's dead! He's dead! The big Jesus is dead! He's dead! He's dead! The big Jesus is dead!
I only feel okay with doing this since he went out of his way to humiliate a literal teenager on a live stream, so don't get pissy over this. So, Pablo Hidalgo is the head of the Lucasfilm Story Group, the writer's room responsible for shadow writing Star Wars stories and maintaining the continuity of the series. There was a guy on Twitter making fun of Theory for crying over Luke showing up, which back then I would say is a really shitty thing to do, but given everything that's happened since, I don't have much sympathy.
Like what he just did?
Hidalgo replied to the guy, emotions are not for sharing. Any grown adult with a decent understanding of the English language would understand that the comment was a sarcastic remark mocking the guy who's making fun of Theory. TLDR, he was defending Theory.
That's why he put it in his Twitter bio, in his header. That's why he makes fun of fans for years and years. Pablo ain't gonna send you any free books, dude.
As a sign of gratitude for Hidalgo, do you know how Theory responded?
I have seen that he did make a, by the way, he's been reaching out to me today. He reached out to me, with a very loose email. Here's my number, call me. Lucasfilm themselves sent me an email. Hey, there's a misunderstanding. We want you to call us. I haven't replied because I just haven't felt like there's really anything to be said. I feel like, when you say things, it's out there.
Somehow I forgot this guy acts like a raging sociopath whenever there's a money-making opportunity present.
So that being said, it's not about the money.
It's about sending a message.
And before any of you start saying I'm exaggerating, according to clevelandclitic.org, the traits are as follows. Not understanding the difference between right and wrong. not respecting the feelings or emotions of others, constant lying or deception, being callous, difficulty recognizing emotion, manipulation, arrogance, violating the rights of others through dishonest actions, impulsiveness, risk-taking, difficulty appreciating the negative aspects of the behavior. If you don't think this is self-evident in the first half of the video, just you wait. But hey, at least he makes good money off lying to his impressionable audience of predominantly children. I know. The very responsible thing to do, for sure. Another really fun thing is one of his next videos, he thanks his audience for going batshit insane on the people at Disney and Lucasfilm. Hidalgo had to make his Twitter account private after he was berated by fans for his single remark. Even fellow Star Wars YouTuber Eckhart's Ladder chimed in and explained that Theory was in the wrong. And Theory lost it on him too. And as expected, this cultist went on a crusade against Eckhart's Ladder. This is another interesting...
Replied to like 2 tweets. This is the common theme that I find on YouTube. It's like if anyone ever says anything to you, you're not allowed to say anything. You got to be super cool. You can't say shit. If you say shit, then it's like you're leading a crusade. It's madness.
Interesting thing he tends to do. He rewards his fans for their cultish behavior, and thus triggering a dopamine reaction in their brains. He effectively rewards his fans for doing things that help him in any way, regardless of whether or not they're good or bad for anyone else. This creates a false sense of friendship with a subscriber base of millions, where an attack on Theory is an attack on the wolf pack. Everybody hounds on others for going after one member of the pack. Do you want to know what makes me laugh even more? The fact that he associated himself with freaking Geeks and Gamers by doing a live stream with them. Now, Geeks and Gamers isn't my area of expertise. Thankfully, I know somebody who knows a lot more about why they're terrible and the implications and dangerous potential impact of this. My good friend Turf Nation is here to explain this. I will leave a link to his channel in the description.
Thank you very much, C. Now, Star Wars Theory associating himself with Geeks and Gamers by doing multiple live streams together is by far one of the most unsettling things about him. Because Geeks and Gamers is notorious for being hateful, ignorant, and just an overall bad influence on pop.
They were the only ones that asked if I was alright when the Pablo thing happened. And all of you fuckers were making fun of me. Including Star Wars Explained. Including his wife. Including the other Star Wars YouTubers. They were the only ones that asked, hey, you doing alright, man? Even though we weren't friends. Even though they shit-talked me a ton. They were the only ones that actually reached out.
Culture. They're part of this crowd that are referred to as the anti-SJWs, who are basically people who don't like it when companies incorporate their politics into popular franchises, but don't let these intentions confuse you. They're just as much what they claim to be against. A lot of the time, they're the ones who are interjecting their politics into these situations. And it's just unnecessary. But not everyone knows this. Star Wars Theory is a massive channel, and he's a relatively family-friendly channel. His audience, like
What, do I look like Shrek or something? Like,
most Star Wars channels, does consist of a lot of children and younger people. And let's face it, many people don't really care much about politics, and that's not a fault, but it can lead to some blissful ignorance when roaming the internet nowadays, especially with people like Geeks and Gamers around and the rest of this anti-woke crowd, because they hide their toxic and hateful opinions, which often consists of grifting for the sake of getting views and money, behind a veil of being, well, Geeks and Gamers. They pretend to have the best interests of the geek community at heart, when in reality, they manipulate their audiences to get attention.
bro, people aren't dumb. Like, you can't manipulate people. People eventually will catch on to your shit and they'll be like, I'm not going to subscribe to you anymore. Like, it's not easy to manipulate people. If it was, I would have like 50 million subs. I'm sure it would be a very simple thing to do, but it's not the way it goes. Like, people aren't stupid. They either subscribe, like, it's possible that maybe these people that subscribe to me or Geeks and Gamers or Star Wars Explained or whoever genuinely like them and genuinely like their content. Like, it's not crazy to believe that there are so many different people in this world that have different beliefs. Why is this so hard to believe?
Never caring about the repercussions their actions can have. And it's a very slippery slope between watching Star Wars videos and falling into this rabbit hole, which is why Star Wars Theory needs to take some initiative. A viewer of his who just likes his videos on Star Wars could see a channel that Star Wars Theory has a live stream with as someone who's worth watching because, well, they're friends. It turns into a natural
Yeah, and those people would see that other person's content and be like, this ain't for me. Or they'd be like, oh, maybe it is. Like, you can't censor what people can or can't watch. Like, that's a fucking dictatorship, man. Like, that's some dangerous shit you're trying to do. You gotta let everyone experience whatever they want to experience and let them be the judge. Let them have an immune system and figure out what they reject and what they allow. Like, it's very simple to life. Like, we don't live in a bubble world, you know?
progression going from innocent Star Wars videos to videos about Kathleen Kennedy and the evil of Disney to other subjects like Brie Larson to calling out anything slightly progressive or diverse in cinema as woke garbage to full-blown far-right ideology through their political.
This video was about me, man. What the fuck? What's going on here? Let's bring it back on. Let's put the attention on me here.
Channels, and even a lot of their normal videos. If you're not politically aware, which again, a lot of people aren't, it's so easy to fall into this trap. Geeks and Gamers videos are dangerous because they promote blind hatred on the internet, and a bunch of other toxic shit. And Star Wars Theory not taking responsibility for the massive influence he has on his young audience, you know, being a role model and all, it's a real problem. And I really hope he pulls a Zack Snyder.
The day I get tips from you on how to be a role model is the day that they chop my dick off.
And dissociates himself from Geeks and Gamers, because they're bad news. Anyways, back to UC.
It seems ironic that when Theory claimed he was being attacked,
copyright!
He also has a freaking animated short film about why sequel fans are gatekeeping and toxic. Yup, this guy...
No, actually, it was a animation that could bring in all fans of Star Wars. See, as this guy has a Jar Jar Sucks shirt, and one of the guys in the actual... in the group there was a sequel fan, and one was a prequel fan, and one was an OT fan, and it was showing that these three kinds of people can be best friends. But I guess that went right over your head.
Pretty much made an animated biopic about himself, where he switched out the prequels for the sequels. The plot of this animated backhanded insult is about three man-children who are worried about gatekeeping sequel
Man-children?
from letting him into...
They're fucking kids! They're teenagers! They're literal teenagers. They're in high school. Like, what the fuck, dude?
...to their party, since victim mentality seems to be a running theme with this guy.
Victim mentality is literally what you guys are. And it is so freaking funny that you don't even see it and you just call the kettle black. It's what you constantly do. These kinds of people are a dime of, like, fuck, man. It's so much. It's like they're all cloned from the same freaking vat.
You know, sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. I hope he rests easy knowing he's less morally consistent with your average congressman. You know, sometimes he will claim that we should all be united as fans and claim that all...
The guy's editing this and just, like, fucks up and puts, like, a asterisk. Then your. It's like, no one's gonna check your grammar, dude. No one gives a shit.
...opinion should be respected. Meanwhile, he goes around doing stuff like this, which are designed to make certain fans look like the enemy.
Oh, they're designed to bring the fandom together, you fucking idiot.
What a very uncool thing to do. Do you know what is cool, though? That new Knights of the Old Republic remake. The trailer looked sick. I, along with many others, were super hyped about this. But almost like clockwork, the fans found reasons to hate on it, especially with the writer for the game, Sam Maggs. She made Twitter posts with some left-wing leaning humor. Oh no! So anyways, as you can imagine, Theory made a video to capitalize on the drama. His thumbnail implies that she was going to ruin the game through the visual language of the image. It shows her tweets that are guaranteed to piss off more right-leaning Star Wars fans. I don't want to go into politics here.
Right-leaning? The fuck does that have anything to do with it?
But I agree with what Theory himself says in the video, where he says that everyone is entitled to an opinion.
Dude. Someone pull... this is insane. I can't believe the guy just did this. Like, this whole video is interesting, but this part is the most interesting to me because it's like, literally in that video, we defend her. And we actually go through tweets in the context of when she said, Star Wars KOTOR isn't my favorite. Like, we're literally defending her, and he just bypasses it for his own narrative. This is the shit I deal with daily. It blows my mind.
That's a pretty relaxed and fair statement to make in the video. Too bad the thumbnail tells an entirely different story. Imagine the number of people who see the notification of the video and don't end up watching it, but they see the thumbnail. Imagine how many of them have the false idea that somehow the game is doomed because of that one thumbnail.
Those people are idiots if they don't click on and do some research. And the major thing was, isn't Koto your favorite? No, was the biggest thing that people were talking about. And Josh and I actually spent the time to talk about how that's not what she's actually saying. How she was saying that no, it's not, as satire, as being sarcastic and funny, that no, that early Yoda game from the 1980s or whatever is her favorite actual game. But the fact that you didn't put that in there just speaks volumes about the whole entire incentive that you have to make this video about me. It's 15 minutes long. I mean, it's like, how did you even leave that out, man? Like, were you just one of these people that just didn't watch? Like, what the... I don't know where these... I don't know, man.
It's common action of people to take an article at face value, so it's absolutely realistic to assume that people would just make a judgment call based on the thumbnail alone. So what do I make of all these points? I think that not only is Theory a bully, he's also a danger to the fandom. Everything from his reactions to valid criticisms, to spreading disinformation, to weaponizing his own fans against people. It's very clear this guy is off his freaking rocker. What he represents is the absolute worst in the fandom, and he should know that. Of all things, I'm actually worried that he does know that, but continues anyways. But, knowing how he doesn't really care.
Just imagine if I actually used my voice for hatred and anger. Everything up until this point was me being neutral and me being kind and me being soft-spoken and me telling people not to go after people and keeping the peace as much as I could. Imagine if I actually got so fucking fed up and pissed that I just turned and I'd really caused some destruction. You see it with other channels that are a tenth of my size. Just imagine what I could do. But I choose not to.
Care about his fans or Star Wars to begin with, it wouldn't surprise me. It also scares me that he does this with an audience of children, since they simply don't know any better and would eventually find others who share similar values to him, such as nut jobs like Geeks and Gamers. He's become the YouTube equivalent of a gateway drug. If Theory cares about his fans or the fandom, he would stop with this type of content for good. He would stop spreading false information. He would stop acting as if he was some beacon of hope in the fandom while bullying kids on live streams. If Theory gives even a little bit of a shit, he would act like an actual role model and listen to criticism. And it makes me sad that this might never happen. Star Wars Theory, please touch some grass.
What? Just like smoke some weed? Is that what you're saying? That's great. Nice video. Well, that was it for today's video. I'm sure tomorrow there will be another one of someone else having something to say, and we can go from there. But for right now, I want to go and get the N64 pass, and then we can play some Ocarina of Time or some GoldenEye or something like that. You guys can let me know in the comments if you play GoldenEye or Ocarina, or maybe Super Mario. There's a couple soups here. Oh yeah, and nobody go over to his video. Don't give him any views. Don't well, give him a view if you like his video, but don't say anything to him. Don't, I'm not I don't want you to go over there, but I just feel, if everything is free game online, if someone wants to call me out and put slander to my name and make some shit up, I am very much welcome to talk about it and react to it too on a public forum. But yeah, no violence, no nothing. I don't want anybody going after the guy. I don't want anybody saying anything to him. That's why I'm doing this on the little gaming channel and not the main channel, because I know how it gets on there. So now I need to animate Darth Shrek. Have you heard about clout chasing? Don't even give it time of day. Theory, just want to know your real fans know who you are and what you stand for. Yeah, wow. I always enjoy reading these and watching these sometimes, so yeah, it is what it is. comes with the job. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna start another stream and we can play some Nintendo 64. I'm very excited. All right. Later.